BYD's Fang Cheng Bao Ti7 large SUV. It's been revealed in China. We do know that BYD are bringing their Fang Cheng Bao cars to Europe, to Australia, to a bunch of countries. Not the United States, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, they're coming pretty much everywhere else. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. The BYD Fang Cheng Bao Ti7. We've just seen the specifications in China. Guys, this is a pretty big car. It's got 483 horsepower, so about 330 kilowatt. EV only range of 130 kilometers. That's CLTC. So fair bit of range, probably WLTP. You're looking at about 100 kilometers of range. And remember, the Fang Cheng Bao car brand, it was launched by BYD in 2023. And honestly, it's a bit of an odd name, but it seems to be catching on. People are calling it FCB for short, Fang Cheng Bao, FCB. Anyhow, so there's three cars right now. They've got the Bao 5, the Bao 8, the Leopard 8, that's called the Bao 8, or the Bao 5, that's called the Leopard 5. They've also got the Ti3, the Ti3, which is called the Titanium 3, and there is now the Ti7 or the Titanium 7. So there is now 4 different Fang Cheng Bao cars. What do we know about this latest one, the FCB Ti7? So let's just call Fang Cheng Bao, let's just call it FCB Ti7. Apparently, it's got a LiDAR sensor on top of it. Roof racks, as you can see, it's a big vehicle. This is a plug-in hybrid, of course. It's almost exactly 5 meters long, so 4,999 millimeters, 2 meters wide, 1,995 millimeters wide, and it's got a pretty big wheelbase as well, 2,920 millimeters. In terms of size, it sits between the Bao 5 and the Bao 8. So yeah, I mean, it's a big vehicle. It's sort of a similar size to a Ford Territory. Ford Everest, there you go. That's what it compares to, pretty similarly. And it's not that heavy, surprisingly. It's only 2,230 kilograms, so about 4,700 pounds. But if you get the bigger battery option, then it's 2,480 kilograms, so about 2.5 tons. That's about 5,300 pounds. It does use BYD's new DMS plug-in hybrid system, and that uses a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine, which puts out 115 kilowatt. That's 154 horsepower. That combines with 2 electric motors. The front electric motor has 160 kilowatt. That's 215 horsepower. And the rear electric motor has 200 kilowatt. That is 268 horsepower. Apparently, the lighter version of the car comes with a single electric rear motor with 200 kilowatt only. So you can get a single motor version or the all-wheel drive version. The all-wheel drive version, obviously, you're going to get a lot more power. You're going to get a total of, actually, it's about 275 kilowatt in total. So yeah, I mean, a fair bit of power. That's the mid-spec version. The top spec version is going to give you closer to 320 kilowatt. Entry-level version, battery size. I believe it's the sort of the older blade battery, not the newer version that can charge at 1,000 kilowatt. Anyhow, it can do about 100 kilometers CLTC. Fuel consumption is 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers. The top trim has a bigger battery pack. That's called the Ti7. That gets a 35.6 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate blade battery, giving it about 130 kilometers of range. So not a big difference in size. I mean, it's only about a 9 kilowatt bigger battery for the top spec size. It's going to give you about 30 kilometers more range. Fuel capacity is a bit higher because it's a little bit heavier at 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Guys, I don't know about you, but I actually think this is quite a good looking car. It's certainly not small. It looks a little bit like Toyota's new, I think in the US you call it a LandCruiser, we call it a Toyota Prado in the rest of the world. It reminds me a lot of the styling of the Prado, but I think this is actually a really good looking car. It is going to come with 7 seats. That's going to appeal to a lot of people. So 7-seat option, plus there's going to be heaps of space in the back of this vehicle. I think for a lot of families, this might be a good choice. Starting price apparently is going to be $41,730 US dollars. So about 42,000 US dollars starting price. I mean, that's going to equate to probably about 67,000 Australian dollars and, probably about 40,000 euros. But remember, add on probably a 30% additional cost because obviously BYD's got to make it for international markets, got to ship them around the world, pay the tariff fees, etc., etc. So you got to add on about 30% to the price to get the real world price you're going to actually be paying. Is that a good deal? Do you guys think? 70,000 Australian dollars, probably about 40,000 euros, but put on the extra tariff cost and, getting it overseas, shipping costs, etc. You're probably looking at a price, my estimate would be about 85,000 Australian dollars and potentially around 55,000 euros. It's a nice car. It should have a nice interior. I'm going to guess a luxury interior, leather seats, a large 15-inch media screen, probably some screens in the back as well for the kids. But that's all about what we know so far for this new vehicle from BYD. Do you like it or not? Let us know in the comments. Bye-bye. If you've signed a deal to become a distributor for BYD, you might want to have a look at the fine print because BYD has found a way around the distributor here in Australia with their new Denza brand. Now, I'm assuming that BYD can do the same thing with their Fang Cheng Bao brand and Yang Wang brand. I mean, BYD have 4 different brands. And as far as I can tell, these distributors in Europe and Australia and New Zealand and potentially other countries as well, Thailand, they're licensed to sell BYD vehicles, but not the other brands. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Now, what's happening here? What is this story about? Well, here in Australia, there's been some conflict between BYD, the actual brand, and the distributor or the seller of the BYD brand in the country. And to be fair, journalists have talked about this quite a bit. It's been a bit of a hot topic over the last year. I've heard a few different things. You see different emails and it's kind of a bit amusing. But BYD are going to sell directly now. They're going to sell Denza, the Denza brand directly. And I'm guessing this would make sense then that if they're going to do this with Denza, they'll do the same thing with Yang Wang and with the Fang Cheng Bao brands as well. The distributor of BYD cars in Australia, EV Direct, has been told that it won't get access to these cars. Upcoming Denza luxury cars from BYD will be sold in Australia by head office from a factory-backed operation, not by the distributor themselves.